Okay. We are going to revise the things we covered yesterday. Then we are going to start with the things after that. Yesterday, we started talking about plant's life cycle, and I told you plant life cycle means all the steps in which the plant is going to change from being a seed into a new plant. The steps were, just a second, let me show you the shorter one. Okay. Okay. Just a second, Habibi, because I opened 2 PowerPoints. I don't know why. Now let's revise again. Okay. Yeah. Share screen. And let's go through the steps again. Yeah, we said plant life cycle starts with having a fruit. In our condition, we have an apple. Then the seeds inside the fruit, they are going to grow to be a new plant. How? Through the steps in here. Yesterday, we started with seed dispersal. We said seed dispersal is the spreading of the seeds on the floor or on the ground, in the ocean, in any place. They can move in different methods. Seed can be dispersed by 4 different ways, as you can see in the slide. Number 1, by wind. Number 2, by water. Number 3, by animals, and by explosion. I'm not gonna move to the next slide. Now I want to hear from you, how do seeds move or disperse by wind? Yeah, show me fingers. How can they be dispersed by wind? Yalla, I'm gonna ask, no, somebody who did not raise his or her hand, I'm gonna ask iPhone, because I asked you many times to unmute yourself. So iPhone, answer. Yalla. iPhone, who are you? Yalla, iPhone. iPhone, who are you? Okay. Khalid Matar. Yes, Khalid. How can seeds be dispersed by wind? What are the 2 features in which they can be dispersed by wind?
They're light and have a wing like sheep.
Excellent, excellent. Zaid Jum'a. Seeds by water, how can they spread? How can be they dispersed? By water. Now, as we said, by wind, they have like the dandelion, a parachute-like structure, or a wing-like structure. By water, Zaid Jum'a, can you tell me how can they be dispersed on water or by water? Yalla Zaid. Zaid Jum'a. Zaid, ya Zaid. Okay. Let me see Zena. Zena Kayali, yalla. Zena.
Yes, teacher.
How can seed be dispersed by water? What is the main property for the seed that can be dispersed by water?
They move from one place to another.
How? They, look at the picture here.
I can't see the picture.
Here is the coconut.
I can't see.
Guys, the screen is not in front of you, the PowerPoint.
مش هلا الباوربوينت موجود في بلانس لايف سايكل بس الاشي انه هذا السلايد تبع الكوكونات مش موجود.
Dispersed by water is not clear in front of you?
No.
Angel? Right. Let me share it again then. Wait. New share. Hi. Dispersed by water. هيك. Now.
هيك.
تمام. يلا زينة. How can they dispersed by water?
They float on the water.
Excellent. Like the coconut here. They float on the water. Thank you so much. By animals, there are different ways in which animal can disperse the seed. يلا رأي القاق. Number 1. First picture. Can you tell me? Raya. Sorry. Raya. I'm sorry, Raya. ريا يلا يا ريا رايا. اوكي قطشات قطوشتي مايا.
Yes.
Yes, sweetheart.
morning.
Look at the square. Good morning, sweetheart. Look at the square. How do you think they disperse the seeds? Squirrels.
Squirrels.
Yep.
Sometimes they hide them for the winter,
Excellent.
and then they grow out.
Excellent. On their ways, definitely there are some seeds fall off. Now, did you watch the movie Ice Age?
Yeah.
From the beginning of the movie till the end of the movie, there is this, I don't know whether it was a squirrel or an Ice Age squirrel, that he was following this nut. Eventually, this nut, as long as it does not get the right condition, it will not grow. As long as it gets the right condition, it's going to grow to be a new plant. So some animals like the squirrel, they hide the nuts or they hide the food for later on. On their ways, some seeds are going to fall. If they get the right conditions, they are going to germinate. Okay. What about fleshy fruits like apples, cherries, strawberries, all of these? How do they get dispersed, the seeds? Let me ask somebody who did not raise his or her hand. I'm going to choose a name from the students who are from other section. Yalla, Razan. Razan, simply Razan. Please call your name with your first and last name. Razan? Razan, where are you? Razan, Razan? Razan? Okay, Razan seems like she doesn't want to answer. Dima Subah. Yes, Dima. Tell me, how can fleshy fruits be dispersed? The seeds of those fleshy fruits. By?
The animals they eat the fleshy parts, and
Excellent.
then the seeds are excreted out of them.
Excellent. There are two ways. Some animals, they spit out the seeds, and some animals, they get rid of it through their digestive system. Excellent, excellent, Dima. Now, the last one, it's easy and obvious. Seeds that have a hawk-like structure. Yalla ya Layan Hamdan, tell me, how can they be dispersed? Layan Hamdan,
Hi, teacher. Can you please ask the question again?
I'm going to repeat it, definitely. We said animals, they disperse the seeds. Animals that they have a fair or a thick hair, there are some seeds that they can disperse. What are these seeds and how can they disperse these seeds? Look at the picture here of the doggy.
Doggy? Oh, yeah. Is it fleshy fruits?
No, fleshy fruits are eaten, and dogs, they are not herbivores or omnivores, they are carnivores. They eat only meat, so no, they don't eat them.
They eat meat and they get it out from their...
No, dogs, how do they spread the seeds, Layan? Seeds.
With hooks.
Look at their bodies. They what? They stick on their bodies. They stick on their bodies. Okay, how are they going to ask you on the checkpoint? Now, did you take the booklet?
Not yet,
yes?
but I'm going to.
Okay, now, most of the questions they are gonna ask you, they're gonna give you different seeds, exactly like the booklet, different seeds. I'm gonna tell you each one of them, how are they going to be dispersed? A strawberry, yalla, who can tell me? Mu'taz al-Salkhi. How can a strawberry seed be dispersed? Mu'taz?
Okay.
Yes.
Ben might eat it, and then.
So it's by animals. They're not going to ask you about the kind of animal. An animal. Thank you so much, Mu'taz. But what if they brought you a dandelion? Amir. A dandelion. Amir Bakir?
Yes.
Good morning, sweetheart. A dandelion. Do you know it?
Yes.
Okay, how can they be dispersed?
They fly.
Excellent. So by?
By wind.
Excellent, excellent, Amir, bravo. But what if they brought you coconut, Jury? Jury, if they ask you how do coconut get dispersed? Jury? Okay, then Jury, I can't hear you, so I'm gonna choose somebody else. Jury, yes, sweetheart.
What was it again?
Again, coconut. How are they dispersed?
By water.
By water. Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much. Bravo. I want to ask Maryam. I have Maryam, صح? I'm trying to read names from the students that I don't teach.
Yes.
Maryam Khatir, good morning, sweetheart. If I brought you a seed that has hooks or spines, how do you think it's going to be dispersed? By what?
By explosion.
No, if it has hooks or spines, it's a spiky seed.
By
Look at the dog here. It's gonna stick on the animal's body. So your answer should be either animal, wind, water, or the fourth one, which is explosion. Explosion, or like the peas. So they get explode out of their pot and they go out. Till now, see, dispersal is clear? Guys? Okay. Now,
Yes.
we are going to go to seed germination. Seed germination is easy. Whenever you have a seed, for example, always when we were grade 1, we used to grow lentils or chickpeas. As long as they are inside the jar in the kitchen, they will never grow. But how can they grow if I put them in soil or cotton and I provide them with water? So germination is the process by which a seed will start to grow. What do they need? The right temperature, oxygen, water. Some of them, they need light. In the video that I showed you yesterday, we saw how the seeds are going to grow. So the steps, number 1, the seed is going to be filled with water. Number 2, the root is going to grow. Number 3, the shoot or the small stem. Then the leaves. I'm going to show you the video again. I told you yesterday it's a high-speed video. Working. Okay. Next. Okay. Why? Already we saw it yesterday. I'm gonna show it to you. Okay, it's not working. Flowers. Now this part, we took a quick overview about it yesterday, which are the part of the flower. There are 4 main parts that we have to know about the flower, which is the stamen, the male part, the carpel, the female part. I have the petals, which is the colorful part, and the sepals that protect the bud. Now, parts of the plant, again, the stamen is the male, the carpel or the pestle is the female. Now, why do I need the petals? Yesterday, I told you, I need the petals. Why? Let me ask Noor Hinno. Yes, Noor?
Yes, teacher.
Good morning, sweetheart. Why do you think flowers, they have a colorful petals? Okay, unfortunately, I cannot hear you.
Because
why not all the flowers are white? Why there is yellow, there is red, there is pink, subhanallah. يعني ربنا, whenever he put different colors, there's a purpose. Why is that? What do you think?
I think because the
petals. Yes, petalat.
Yes.
Colored leaf. Yeah, why do you think they are colorful? Noor?
I don't have an idea.
You don't have any idea. Okay, then let me ask somebody else who can help her. Who can help her? Let me ask Zain Yunus. Zain Yunus, تفضلي.
The petals are to attract bees.
Excellent. The petals are colorful. Okay, so whenever they are colorful, they attract bees. Now, different insects are attracted by different colors. I'm going to give you, inshallah, whenever we talk about plants, each animal or insect, they are attracted to which color? Some of them are attracted to yellow, some of them are attracted to red. Now, birds, they go not for the color, they go for the nectar inside the flowers. So the petals are colorful to attract pollinators. Pollinators. Now we're going to talk about pollination and fertilization. So the main parts are sepals, petals, stamen, and pestle. We talked about the first one, which is petals. Now we are going to see the sepals. Sepals are those green leaves here. You can see them that protect the flower and the bud. Petals, as we said, they are colored to attract pollinators. Pestle, there are three main parts. I have the stigma, style, and ovary. We talked about them in details. Stamen, it is the male part. I told you, remember it from the word men by the end, men. And I have in the flower only one female part and many male parts. Pollination. Now, pollination is a process by which pollen grains that are formed and made in the male parts move from the male to the female. Now, pollination can happen at the same flower from the same male to the same female, or it can be from a certain flower to another. So both can happen. So pollination is when the pollen grains that are produced in the male move from the male to the female. Okay? They are made in the male part, which is the anther. They are going to move to the female part, which is the sticky stigma. Sticky stigma. So, for pollination, I do pollinators. Pollinators can be insects, birds, wind. Okay? So, pollinators are animals that cause the plant to make fruits or seeds. How? By moving pollens from one flower to another, or from the same male part to the same female part. Now, pollination, as you can see, pollen grains move. They stick on the stigma. After that, look at the pollen grains up. They're going to form a tube. The tube is going to enter inside the ovary through the pollen tube, and they are going to join. So process number one is pollination, which is only the movement of pollen grains from the male to the female. Now we are going to move to the details inside the flower. During pollination, the pollen grains from the male, here is the pollen grain, the yellow, they fly from the male to a pollinator, in our case it's a bee, to the female. The stigma, always remember, sticky stigma, sticky stigma. So the pollen grains stick on the stigma. So what will happen after that? It is going to stick to the stigma. So now they are no longer on the male, they landed on the female. Step number two, the pollen grain grows a tube. Okay, just remove this column here. So the pollen grains, they move a tube. The tube is gonna move from the style till it goes inside the ovule. Inside the ovule, there are ovary. Now, all of those four parts are the female part. It's the pistil. So one more time. Movement from the anther to the stigma. From the stigma, forming a tube, entering inside the ovary. Till now, do you have any questions? If yes, raise your hands. A lot of hands. So lower your hands. If you have a question, raise your hand. You don't have a question? Lower your hand. Okay, Masal Banna, you still have a question? Noor Qadar.
No, I forgot to lower my hand.
Okay, Habibati, lower your hand. Okay, it's way easier for me to let you unmute yourself instead of unmute. So right now, all of you mute, but I'm gonna take off the button, which is you can unmute yourselves, okay? Come on. I have Muhammad Mansour, he has a question. Yes, Muhammad, tfadal, you can answer.
I forgot to lower my hand, sorry.
Okay, sweetheart, tamam. Yeah. So right now we are done with pollination, pollinators. Now fertilization. Fertilization is the process by which the pollen grain, after they enter inside the ovary, they get fertilized. What do you mean fertilized? Fertilized, that means the egg cell inside the ovary and the sperm cell from the pollen grain, they're going to fuse and join together. They are going to join together. This join together process is called fertilization. Right now, I have a fertilized egg. After this happens, what will happen? The sepals are going to fall. The petals are going to fall. The stamen is going to fall. All the male part is going to fall. Everything is going to disappear except the ovary is going to stay. Why? The ovary is going to change to be the fruit. So the ovule will develop to be a seed and the ovary will develop to be a fruit. Now I'm going to show you a video, but after I hear if you have any questions, a lot of chat. Okay, me, Jat Hamza. Okay, now I'm gonna let you answer. If you have any questions, now I'm gonna pose.
Teacher,
yes, sweetheart.
Can you repeat the fertilization part, please?
Definitely, yeah, definitely. Fertilization. Fertilization is the process by which we said, let's go from the beginning so we can go step by step. Step number 1, pollination. What is the meaning of pollination? Idima, is whenever the pollen grains from the male to the female. But why in the first place I need this movement? Now this is a way of reproduction. So I need the flower to reproduce the plant. So the flower is turning to be a fruit. And the fruit have seeds, and the seeds will grow and be a new plant to complete the life cycle. How can I change the flower to be a fruit? Number 1, I need to take off the pollens from the anther to the stigma inside the female part. We said, let's go to this picture here, show you again. Okay, now look, pollen grains are moving, okay, Dima? They moved from the male to the female. They stick on the stigma up. Do you see the tube going down? Now this tube will carry the pollen grains up. It has a cell from the dad. It's gonna enter inside the ovary, which is inside the female, which is we consider it the mom, and they are going to fuse it together. So the cell from the dad and the cell from the mom are going to join together, fuse. This is called a fertilized egg. Fertilized egg. This fertilized egg is going to grow to be the seed, and the ovary is going to grow to be the fruit. So those are the fertilized cells are going to grow to be the seeds, and the ovary is going to be the fruit. So I'm going to have the fruit that I'm going to eat. The seeds are the part that I'm going to spit out, and it's going to grow to be a new tree. Better? Or shall I do it again, Dima? Zamdoom? Dima, sweetheart? Adnan, I have no questions. Okay. I'm gonna, you are allowed to unmute yourself. So, any other questions? Dima? No? Questions? No? Okay. Right now we're done with plants. We are done with rocks and rocks life cycle. Starting next week, inshallah, we are going to have less classes, I hope, because we're done. I still have nutrition only. So nutrition, which is my plate. You cannot unmute yourself. Yes, you can. Wallahi, I took off the button. We are going to talk about my plate. We're going to revise again. And as I told you, right now, we're done with rocks or plants. Take the booklets and answer all the questions related to plants and rocks. And inshallah, by the end of next week, we are going to give you the answers. If you have any questions, okay. I don't have questions, but I want myself to. Okay, Moana, I'm gonna let you. You cannot unmute. Wallah, I did. Wait. Come on. Mute all. Allow students to unmute yourselves. Right now, let me see. Okay, now you're happy?
Teacher, I have a question. Teacher, I have a question.
Wait, raise your hand so I can tell you, call your name. Who are you? Who are you? The one who has a question, ask.
Masa. When are we going to finish the مراجعة كامل?
Next week, inshallah, we're going to revise only the my plate. We're done. Unless you have questions, we are going to answer your questions.
Like we're gonna finish before the school in 1 week.
Next week is gonna be the last week. Let's خلص.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Teacher, question.
Okay. Yes, Muhammad, تفضل.
2 questions. Could I ask 2 questions?
Definitely. تفضل.
Now, pollination is so pollination is when the what does pollination mean again?
Pollination, the movement of pollen grains from the male to the female, from the male to the female, just the movement through pollinators, which are insects or birds.
Yes, is the process over?
The meaning of fertilization is the
When
eggs
the
from
pollen with the egg join together to form one fertilized egg. Okay?
so the male part and the female, they join one together to reproduce.
Not the part, the cell. No, just a second, Hamad. Not the part, the cell. Inside the pollen grain, there is a male cell, which is the sperm cell. Inside the ovary, there are ovule, which has the egg cells. Together, they're going to form a cell. It's one cell with one cell. They join together to make the seed. One cell. Okay. More questions? Yes. One more question? ولا خلاص? Done?
No, I was asking, should we leave the session now?
If you want, I'm done as long as you don't have questions. Okay, I have Jude Al-Asmar. She has a question. تفضلي Jude.
Teacher, what are the two names of the female parts?
The two names, carpel and pestle. Carpel or pestle?
Thank you.
Most welcome. Masa, do you have a question, dear?
No, I forgot to lower my hand. Thank you.
Teacher,
Most welcome.
did
Yes.
we pick up the booklets in the school?
Number one who's talking, Dima?
Yeah.
Yes, Dima, حبيبي تفضلي.
I already got the booklet.
Perfect. Then answer the questions related to rocks and plants. You're going to see some questions repeated from the booklets that we passed in the lockdown, but this is for you to practice more. Omar Zidan, good morning. Omar Zidan.
Good morning, teacher.
Where were you? I did not see you raising hands or participating with us. Where are you?
I raised my hand.
Oh, then it's my fault I did not see you. Who else? I have Mira Kababji. Hi, Mira. You didn't raise your hand. Rayan, you raised your hand, but sorry, I chose somebody else. I'm sorry. Tomorrow, inshallah. Not tomorrow. Tomorrow, Friday. Next week, inshallah. Who else? Rimas, Tasneem. I did not see you, all of you. Rakan, Rahaf, Noura. I did not see all of you today. Why? Juri, where is Salah? Hamza. Who's Hamza? Jad. Where's your first name? هي صح. Jad, Hamza, Adnan. Me leave? Bye. Bye, Adnan. Okay, we're gonna end up for today. Enjoy your weekend. Answer the questions. Salah, where are you? Hi, Salah.
Thank you
see
so
you
much,
next week.
teacher.
Most welcome. If you have any questions about the booklets, please let me know. Okay?
Bye, teacher.
Okay.
Enjoy your weekend. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Habibi. Bye.